Okay, here we go. It is Wednesday, May 11th. I'm Tom Novak. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be mostly focusing on the severe weather potential now over about the next 36 hours. I'm most concerned about this evening, especially from the Twin Cities area on north this evening. But regardless, all of southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin is under the gun later today and tonight. And then again tomorrow, but more importantly, probably after about 9 p.m. tomorrow in the Twin Cities, Rochester, and then Eau Claire areas of western Wisconsin. By the way, this is brought to you by Jill Fassbender of Farmers Insurance in Rochester. Thank you, Jill and Jeff Fassbender, for sponsoring this update. All right, what you're looking at right now is the water vapor imagery from outer space. And one thing that is extremely important here, this is the reason why I'm showing you this, is look at this spin out on the southeastern sections of the United States, right off the Carolina coasts. This is a block. This is a retrograding upper level low, and it is keeping a large trough out west stationary. And as that large trough surges north, and energy surges north along the jet stream on the eastern end of that trough, you can see it is pumping up moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico into the northern sections of the United States. And until this area here breaks down, we're going to be stuck in the heat, humidity, and likely some sporadic thunderstorms. Here they are. Look at these babies. Wow, southeastern Minnesota hit hard in sections of southeastern Minnesota this morning. Look at those cold cloud tops, indicative of the bright red colors and orange colors. And then now reforming thunderstorms here over central Minnesota. In fact, we can see them here on radar. I'm going to zoom out. This is radar from Duluth. Here's northwestern Wisconsin. You can see thunderstorms over good sections of northwestern Wisconsin. And then as we head southwest towards the Twin Cities, look at these storms active. Not really much in the way of severe weather right now. And let's just go to the Twin Cities radar out of Chanhassen. No severe warnings right now, but that could certainly change here as we go through time, as these thunderstorms push off to the north. And I would expect more storms to develop over the evening hours as we get into southern Minnesota, probably right in this area here. And then they'll eventually move north as that warm front lifts north later on this evening and overnight tonight. Visible satellite shows these thunderstorms beautifully. Look at these things just exploding over portions of southern and central Minnesota now this afternoon. And clear skies, or at least partly cloudy skies over southeastern Minnesota. It is really hot and humid in Iowa and portions of southern Minnesota near the I-90 corridor. And that's the fuel that will be producing the thunderstorm activity as the clouds and moisture especially moves north and back west into a warm front that is located or straddling right over the Twin Cities metro area. So a real nice setup for severe weather here as we go through the next 24 hours. And then tomorrow, we'll have to worry about a cold front. Look at temperatures this afternoon now. This would be as of 2 p.m. And they're going to probably go up a few more degrees here as we get towards 3 p.m. But yes, already 90 degrees down in Albert Lea, Minnesota. And these strong southerly and southeasterly winds are riding into central Minnesota. And of course, that is producing the thunderstorm activity. And you get north of that front, I had mentioned that there's a front that is straddling portions of southern and eastern Minnesota. You get north of that front, and look at this, temperatures are in the 60s in the rain-cooled air of central Minnesota. So, and of course, winds are out of the east and northeast. So that's not only a difference in temperature, but a shift in the wind direction on the other side, or the northern side of this front that is over southern Minnesota. Get used to this, because this front is only going to go north and not too far here as we get into the next 24 hours. We'll probably have this front straddle northern Minnesota as we get into tomorrow. So the warm air will make it a little bit further north, but this temperature contrast and the shift in the winds are going to be prevalent here for the next 24 to 36 hours across Minnesota and Wisconsin. Here's your jet stream structure. Another reason why we are in the soup right now is look at how the jet stream is riding up north into southern Canada, and that allows warm, humid, even hot air from the south to advect north into southern and central Minnesota now. And when you look at these strong jet stream winds, this is what we call a jet streak up here, with winds of 120 to 130 knots. But when you're on the right rear flank of a jet streak, that's usually a pretty good area for severe thunderstorms. And that's why I'm thinking central Minnesota, especially portions of northern Minnesota and eastern Dakotas, are going to be in and under the gun for strong to severe thunderstorms overnight tonight. Now watch what happens as we get into tomorrow. Another jet streak develops over the Dakotas, and that'll place much of Minnesota now in western Wisconsin in the right rear quad of that jet streak as we get into tomorrow evening and overnight and into Friday morning. That's why that severe weather and a line of thunderstorms are likely going to move east across Minnesota, east and northeast across Minnesota tomorrow night and Friday morning. It would be a squall line, which certainly will have the potential to produce severe weather. Look at these. This is the water in the atmosphere, the available moisture in the atmosphere. And this is this afternoon. And look at this intense area of moisture that is surging northeast now surging north and west into southern Minnesota. And that, as I mentioned, is producing these thunderstorms here as this moisture rides north into a front that is located over central Minnesota. So that's one of the reasons why we are worried about severe weather. And then when we look at the severe weather parameters across the upper Midwest and we put the surface-based CAPE or potential energy map on here, look at all this energy over Iowa and southern Minnesota. And yes, that energy is riding up and into a front that is located near the Twin Cities metro, and this is the reason why I'm really worried about this section of Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin as we go through the late afternoon and evening hours and even into the overnight hours tonight for severe weather. And then tomorrow, watch what happens to these CAPE values tomorrow. This is actually pretty interesting here. These excuse me, we'll get this for you here in just a second. Bear with me just a moment, please. As we go into tomorrow now, here are the CAPE values. This would be tomorrow evening right here. This is the map for tomorrow evening. Look at the CAPE values. They're not as robust, but still plenty of energy in the atmosphere over southern and central Minnesota. And you can kind of see a front now developing over the Dakotas, and that front is going to push east as we get into Thursday night, so tomorrow night and Friday morning, and that's going to produce thunderstorms here across the upper Midwest. I know a lot to talk about, isn't there? We're going to put the future radar here on for you, and I'm going to put it into motion. We're going to show you kind of what's going to be happening. Now, take the future radar with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. It's not going to be exact, but it gives you a pretty good idea of what to expect here. Here comes the storms now developing. There they are. This would be early this evening. Lots of thunderstorm activity is going to explode over a good chunk of Minnesota. So anywhere from the Minnesota-Iowa border on north, you're going to be under the gun. And then, of course, that moves into western Wisconsin overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. We catch a break for much of the day tomorrow. So much of the day tomorrow is going to be dry, hot. I'm going to label it hot. And yes, definitely humid with dew points up around 70 degrees. And then watch what happens. Here you see the cold front right here as we get into tomorrow evening. And that cold front is going to race east as we go through the late evening and overnight hours. And here it is, the NAM guidance, the NAM 3K guidance is developing a squall line that will rapidly move east across Minnesota, probably at about 50 to 60 miles per hour miles per hour. That squall line will be moving east across Minnesota. So no doubt the potential for strong damaging winds will be there. I think the tornado threat tomorrow will be out here in the eastern Dakotas and western Minnesota. But as these storms develop that squall line and move east, that will be damaging wind territory as you move into eastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. So a lot going on. Hey, by the way, the good news is if you don't like this heat and humidity, we're going to cool off nicely as we get into this weekend. It'll be a gradual cool down this weekend, and certainly won't feel as humid this weekend. And then, yes, we will be looking at a pretty significant cool down as we head into next week, early next week. One last thing before I let you go. Here's the Storm Prediction Center. This is their prediction for severe weather. It's an enhanced risk over much of central and southern Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin for this would be later today and tonight. And then as we go into tomorrow, as that cold front moves across Minnesota, you can see here they're expecting that cold front to develop storms in eastern North Dakota and South Dakota and then push them east through Minnesota. So another enhanced risk area that may even be bumped up to a moderate risk tomorrow. We'll see as we go through the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. All right, that's your forecast. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Take care, and we'll have more for you probably tomorrow.